Welcome back. If you own a small business, you know how important it is to have good accounting software. Today on the show, we have Andrew Bates joining us from Softrak, and he is out of Vancouver. Came in just for the show today. Thanks for being here.
Just for the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Softrak is a company that you are the CEO and president of,
Indeed.
and you have created some software called Adagio.
Yes. In fact, Adagio has been on the market for over 15 years, and Softrak's been in business for 30. So we've seen a lot of change in the technology landscape, and it continues to change even as I hit a certain age.
Right, and it will continue to develop. So staying on top of this is important for businesses. Why is your accounting software so important?
Well, I think that, well, first of all, some businesses treat their accounting as a necessary evil, and others understand that it can actually bring expertise to the boardroom or to their ownership, and they look to that. And some, of course, organizations are subject to external audit, so have to be able to keep their auditors happy as well. So one of the things that we see coming on the horizon is cloud computing, and one of our partners is a local technology company that you've had on the Midday show before,
right.
SX Cloud.
Exactly. We have a chart that we're going to put up of the three things we're going to talk about today. Perhaps we can put that up now, but the first is the cloud. Let's talk about that.
Well, I'm sure that some people feel that the cloud is just a buzzword that the salesmen keep talking to them, but in 2013, an author by the name of Nicholas Carr wrote a book called Edison to Google, and it drew a parallel between the introduction of power and cloud computing. So it used to be that factories had to build their factories by streams and rivers and power sources, and then they would build their own power plants, and they'd have electrical engineers. And then when it became possible to project power from anywhere to anywhere else, you didn't need your own electrical engineer or your own power generating plant. You just went to the wall and plugged in and you got power.
Right.
So today, in this studio, of course, there are cables everywhere. We expect power to be delivered at the wall outlet without thinking about it. We don't think about that very much. But of course, the cloud, what the cloud lets you do is it allows you to deliver computing power at any outlet of the wall. And then that changes the way people think about computing. If you can get computing anywhere, just by attaching to the wall. In fact, you don't even have to attach to the wall now. You have wireless computing from wherever. And that's going to change things, because that means that businesses don't have to worry about a network infrastructure or a network engineer on staff or all of that infrastructure and virus scanning and all of that. That all gets offloaded to the data center and is available for them to have on call whenever they want it. And that's going to change the way people approach computing.
Okay, and that takes us to our next topic on that list of three, if we could go back to that, and is about going paperless. Well,
paperless has been a buzzword for quite some time, and really people have talked about, I remember paperless became a bit of a joke within the industry, because the more we talked about going paperless, the more we were being inundated with paper. Printing emails was, you know, please don't print this email. But one of the things that has changed that I've seen over the last few years is that disk space has become free. So disk space used to be expensive, and you used to print things out in order to get them off the disk and onto paper, because paper was cheap. But that piece of paper in your hand cost about a penny without any printing on it or anything. If you had a disk drive to store that piece of paper, and you did the math, because I did this one evening, the piece of paper is 318,000 times more expensive than the space that the image occupies on disk. So I sell to accounting departments, and they're very sensitive to costs. And it's beginning to dawn on them that how inexpensive it is to have electronic copies of documents. The other benefit is that for an electronic copy is that you can get to it from anywhere. You can only get to the paper copy in the filing cabinet, and then only if it's been properly filed, which is a challenge. Whereas an electronic document, you can get to anywhere on the planet, and you can file it in multiple filing cabinets all at the same time.
Okay, we have one more point, and I want to get to that because we only have about a minute left. So the last point on the screen, transaction processing is 100% electronic.
Well, if you think about what accounting departments do, they have people who sit and look at a piece of paper and key in transactions off the piece of paper, whether it's a supplier's invoice or an invoice that they've generated. But more and more transactions are becoming electronic. If you look at your own your own experience. You buy things on the internet all the time. You pay with your credit card. Those transactions flow into the business. Your employer probably pays you electronically, and money arrives in your bank account electronically. And business, all that electronic activity means that there's less and less need for people in the accounting department to be actually keying the transactions. And we see that as important, that the accounting software be able to handle these transactions, money magically appearing in your bank account. It's always a pleasant thing, but it can be a bit of a surprise to the accounting department. You want to be able to make sure that that transaction has been properly recorded within the accounting environment in which you work, whatever that happens to be.
A lot of this can be daunting to a small business, though, and it doesn't have to be, because they can use tools like you or SX Cloud Services to help them figure out how to make their business run more smoothly.
Indeed, and I think that one of the things that the accounting departments are typically view themselves as cost centers. They don't think that they can bring value into the business. They think of software as being an expense, or the network as being an expense, whereas actually if they saw it more as an investment, they would see that they can actually improve the reporting back into the organization, and that they end up, what is being a cost center is to not stay somewhat current with the technology. And things like cloud and paperless allow you to do things which are very difficult to do otherwise with the older stuff.
We're out of time, Andrew. I told you 5 minutes would go fast.
I know, it goes like the rush of the wind. So
thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much. It was
dumbing it down a little bit for us. You're a very good explainer. Information's on the you're very welcome. Information on the screen, sxcloud.ca as well, softrak.com. If you would like more information, that's softrak with a K.com. That was on the screen earlier. We are back in 2 minutes with Habitat for Humanity. Stay with us.